check 1 2. Microphone check 1 2. How's everybody doing? This might just be a really quick stream. We'll see. Borealis, what is up? Jari says 12. How many months have 28 days? I'm pretty sure it's just one, Jari. I'm pretty sure. I'm not positive. Cindy Lean. Jari is brilliant. Yeah, don't forget leap year. What's up, Bobby? Look at the night owls. Yeah, tonight was date night. So my wife is watching her show, and then we're going to watch The Wolfman. So whenever she's done with that, I'll finish up with you guys, and I'll let you know how the movie is. I think that's what it's called, Wolfman. It was the one that recently just came out. It's on Peacock now. I think it came out tonight. What's up, Misunderstood? How are you? How goes it? All right, guys. I broke down and finally got some reading glasses. I hate to admit it, man, but I needed it. My wife sent me into the store. She's like, oh, shit. I can't have Pepto-Bismol. I was like, oh, shit, because her stomach was bothering her. So I ran in there and I got her some Pepsid, but I couldn't read the damn bottle. So I was like, all right, you old fuck. What's up, Peggy? Oh, every month has 28 days. So you agree with Jari? What do you guys think? You know everything or what? Bunch of know-it-alls? I say one. I've heard mixed reviews, but I want to see it. Well, I'll let you know tomorrow. Mark, what up? Looks like you changed your avatar. Borealis. Trick question. I like it. Yeah, we'll do a couple of those today. I have a handful. The question should be, how many months only have 28 days, or as it is? Yeah, you're right. So I didn't even ask the question right. I kind of gave you the answer. But I wanted to kind of have people lean towards February. Like, how many months have 28 days? People are going to say, how many months have 28 days? Oh, February. These questions separate chess players from checkers players. You know, who's going to look a little bit deeper? My dad just turned 20 last year. That's old school. How you doing, Cindy? How's your Saturday night going? Oh, shit. It's probably Sunday morning for you now, huh? Munchie, what up? What up? What up? All right. So how many months have 28 days? 60% said 1, 7% said 3, 33% of you said answer in the comments, and you got it right. Answer is all of them. All of them. Yep, 12:05. Technically, it is Sunday for you. All right, you guys ready for this one? If a plane crashes on the border of two countries, smack dab in the middle, technically it's not in one and it's not in the other, and in both at the same time, where do they bury the survivors? Cindy, we got some brains. Yeah, at least we try to use them, right? We don't just slush them around like mush. Try to flex them like a muscle. Jari says survivors are alive. Wait a minute. Yeah, depending on the way your mind works, some of these will trip up others more than they will everyone else. Welcome in, Mistress. Survive means alive. Johnny Five is alive. No disassemble. Cindy, I already spaced the question. Might as well have asked what speed a train goes at halftime. Mustang, welcome in. J Ray's here. Everyone, hide the catnip. We all know about her psychotic kitty cat. Hide the nip. Wait, that might be taken out of context. Hide the nip. That goes for you, Don Spain. Hide the nip. Yes, yes. All right, I have a riddle for you. What has four wheels and flies? Jerry, free the nip. If you do this in the morning as an alarm clock, it would it would wake people up. Jerry, trash truck. Yep. A garbage truck. What has 4 wheels and flies? A garbage truck. That's funny. What's up, Paradox? Wife Lilith. Look who came in together. Paradox and wife Lilith. People are going to talk. That's a good point. If you do this in the morning as an alarm clock, it would wake people up. All right, I have another riddle for you. If you're running a race and you pass the person in second place, what place are you in? Chris. If you're running a race and you pass the person who is in second place, what place are you in? What's up, Mark? J-Ray says second. Jari says second. Cindy says first. Mistress says second. Paradox says second. Cindy says, wait, making my head spin. Right? Are we playing checkers or are we playing chess? Right? These are kind of designed to throw your mind in one direction. And if you're not looking past your initial response, you'll get stuck right there. You got to kind of lift up your head a little bit and see what's behind there. Yeah, go for it. That's what we're here for. Open discussion. I did too, Cindy. I was like running the race and then I passed the guy and I was like, okay, what's going on? Oh, there's a guy in front of me. Yeah, I'm very visual like that too. Because I'm like, okay, if I pass the guy in second, that puts me in first. But that, maybe that even means you're self-centered. Like, right? Nobody else exists but you. So if you pass the person in second, I don't know. Maybe we could dissect that. Oh, yeah. The flying one was a trash truck. So what has 4 wheels and flies? And flies, right? What has 4 wheels and flies? A trash truck. Yeah. Oh, flies. I had to get visual with that one too, Cindy. So I had the trash truck, and of course, there's all these little flies everywhere, like a cartoon or some shit. Oh my gosh, I'm done. I only just now got that. I even tried to say it to where you would kind of get it. You know, if you're listening, I kind of give the answers. So I didn't mislead you. I didn't say what has four wheels and flies. I said what has four wheels and flies. Four wheels and some nasty tiny buzzards. J Ray, that dude Farwell, who has Fern arrested for killing Sandra Birchmore's and her baby, it's now being reported that Farwell wasn't the father of the baby. I'm going to be honest with you, J Ray. I don't know what you're talking about. I don't keep up with that. Anybody? Sandra Birchmore. Cindy. I got sidetracked by thinking about alarm clocks. You just stop right after you hear one word and you just ignore the rest of the whole story. And then you go to your visual place. It's sideways connected and linked to Karen Reed. Oh, okay. So these are players in the Karen Reed case. Monday, we're going to be doing a verdict watch, by the way. I'm thinking about 9 a.m. Mountain Time. I just haven't put up the thumbnail. I think we're going to get an answer on Monday. Probably by noon time. That's what my gut's telling me. I think we're looking at a noon verdict. And if not noon today, noon tomorrow. Mistress says it's the case in Massachusetts that started the whole investigation of DBI with Karen Reed because the misdeeds of the Birchmore case. Oh. So it kind of helps with the corruption narrative. There was potentially an interesting twist in the Karen Reed case. Welcome in, Lisa. Like what? What kind of a twist? Is what started the corruption narrative. No, I'm pretty sure it was Karen Reed's attorneys who started the corruption narrative. Everything else was just used to fuel it. All right. You guys want a trick question involving the Karen Reed case? And we talked about this on our last live stream on the case. It's a doozy. Technically, it's a riddle, right? If Karen Reed's SUV left no trace of John O'Keefe's DNA on its bumper, but a single hair was found, how could the prosecution still claim that she hit him? Here you go again, Cindy. If Karen Reed's SUV left no trace of John's DNA on the bumper, but a single hair was found, how could the prosecution still claim she hit him? Karen Reed was supposedly very angry in court yesterday. Karen Reed was, her lawyers had given a misdemeanor charge on the first verdict form. Lisa, double jeopardy would have attached and she wouldn't have the second trial. She was so furious. It is on new jury instructions. All right. So here's some information on the Sandra Birchmore case. It's a high-profile criminal case in Massachusetts involving the death of 23-year-old Sandra Birchmore, found dead in her Canton apartment on February 4th, 2021. Initially ruled a suicide by asphyxia by the state medical examiner, her death was later determined to be a homicide by federal authorities. Birchmore, raised in Stoughton, Massachusetts, joined Stoughton Police Explorers program at age 12, a young program for those interested in law enforcement careers. She met Matthew Farwell, a police officer and instructor who allegedly began grooming her at age 15. That's disgusting. Initiating a sexual relationship that continued for years. Trust nobody, you guys. I don't care who it is. You don't trust them. Allegations of misconduct. Matthew Farwell, his twin brother William Farwell, and their supervisor Robert Devine, all former Stoughton police officers, were accused of inappropriate sexual relationships with Birchmore. That's horrible. Matthew Farwell allegedly started the relationship when Birchmore was underage, constituting statutory rape under Massachusetts law. William Farwell admitted to a sexual relationship with her in 2020, aware that she was pregnant and claiming Matthew was the father. In late 2020, Birchmore, 3 months pregnant, informed Matthew Farwell he was the father. Federal prosecutors alleged that on February 1st, 2021, strangled her in her apartment and staged the scene to look like a suicide to cover up their relationship and her pregnancy. Surveillance footage showed Farwell entering and leaving her apartment that evening. A recent development revealed the fetus's DNA ruled out Matthew Farwell as the father, though Birchmore had told him he was, which prosecutors alleged motivated the killing. That's awful. Wasn't even his kid. What a piece of shit. The initial suicide ruling was challenged by Birchmore's family. Yeah, good on them. You guys, family members of victims, you need to fight as hard as you can. You know, I'm not saying go bankrupt and end up on the street or anything like that, but I commend these family members who who fight like this. In 2024, a forensic pathologist hired by Birchmore's family and an FBI expert concluded her death was a homicide, citing evidence like a broken necklace and nasal abrasions, suggesting a struggle, right? Signs of a struggle. There you go. Matthew Farwell was arrested in August 2024 by the FBI, charged with killing a witness or victim, facing life in prison or potentially the death penalty. He has pleaded not guilty and remains in custody. William Farwell and Devine face no criminal charges but are named in a wrongful death lawsuit in Birchmore's aunt. J-Ray, she's the one who asked for the OUI charges as a lesser included offense of the OUI manslaughter charge. Stoughton? What was I saying? That's how I was saying it. Stoughton. Or am I supposed to be saying Stoughton? Because I said Stoughton. We always got a grammar Nazi. It's pronounced Grey Poupon, not pooping on. My bad. No one cares, J-Ray. Nobody comes to the Sleuth Intuition channel for a grammar lesson. Just the oratory, specifically. Focus on your strengths. Like Dave McCain's mom always taught him. You know? Everybody has that something that they're good at. Mine is not pronunciation. Yeah, I was being sarcastic. Cindy says facts. I don't go anywhere for a grammar lesson. I'm out of school, right? It's Kagan, not Keegan. I don't give a shit what it is. Call him fucking Keegan if I want to. That's not his name, man. It's Kagan. His dad named him Kagan after a bar. Keegan is a whole different name. Oh, my bad. Wouldn't want to disrespect old Keegan. Keg Ann. Oh, shit. Middle name Ann. J Ray. Yeah, right. You're too feisty. Jari. Potato, potato. Tomato, tomato. Mistress, how about the mayhem in Minnesota? It's a fun and games when you call for anarchy until the anarchists go against you. Freaking tampons, appointee knocking off his fellow. I don't know. It kind of seemed like a setup. Kind of seemed like they were all in on it. Like, why were the cops there? Well, I guess it was the second victim, but you know, people forget that that's how conspiracies work. Like, for instance, if there was a conspiracy going on with the Delphi murders, everybody's in on it. The defense, the prosecution, the judge, everybody's in on it but Richard Allen. And then, of course, the victims. So if this was really a conspiracy, like, the cops would be in on it, everybody would be in on it, except for the victims. Right? They're the targets. They're the reason that they came up with the conspiracy, so that they could target these individuals and stage it. Make it seem. Why do criminals stage crime scenes? From what I've learned, 3 reasons. Right? You want to shock the people who find the crime scene or come across it. You want to leave a message. What's the third? I know there's 3. I'll let you guys get the third one. What's your thoughts on the 2 missing kids in Canada? I haven't looked into it too much. I don't know a whole lot about it. I think I saw something on Facebook about it the other day. Who was it? I think it might even have been like a live stream from, I think, Sunny Justice, maybe. We tried to talk about it a while back, but I think we pulled up the wrong one. Is it Lily Sullivan and Jack Sullivan? Lansdowne Station, Pictou County, Nova Scotia. About a boot there. "28 years later, that looked good. I heard a rumor of Spaceballs 2. Ooh, Spaceballs 2 sounds interesting. We're combing the desert. A lot of dad humor in that movie. We're combing the desert, sir. Did I pronounce it right? I don't know where you're getting conspiracy theory from my comment. No, just kind of me. The assailant was a Tampon Tim Walls appointee. I mean, yeah, but if you're saying that they're all in it together, that's a conspiracy, right? But if it's a real conspiracy, they're all in on it, except the person who is being murdered. I know exactly what happened, mistress. We did a whole live stream on it earlier today. Did you miss it? I think you missed it. Earlier today, we did a 2-hour live stream. Here's the thumbnail. You must have missed it. It's titled "No Kings, Only Ideological Subversion." And we talked about the murder of one, the attempted assassination of the other. Come on now. Come on, meow. What does that mean? I feel like you mean something. I feel like there's a tone to that. Like you're too good for YouTube all of a sudden. For you, it probably was. For me, it's still today. Okay, let's take a look at this case here. Lily Sullivan and Jack Sullivan. Lily was 6, Jack was 4. Siblings. Part of the second largest community in Nova Scotia. Lily has shoulder length, light brown hair with bangs, possibly wearing a pink sweater, pink pants, pink boots, and a white backpack with red strawberries. Jack has short blondish hair, was wearing blue dinosaur boots and possibly a pull-up diaper. Easy killer. There's that tone again. The children vanished from their rural home on Garlick Road, Lansdowne Station, approximately 30 kilometers southwest of New Glasgow, in a sparsely populated, heavily forested area about 140 kilometers. So what happened? What do they think happened? I figure if it was an abduction, you would have found like a backpack somewhere. I feel like the predator, usually people who target small children in an opportunistic setting or who are opportunistic, typically it's like an impulse, right? They're constantly fantasizing it, sexual sadism. They can't control themselves. They react. Maybe they're drunk and they commit the kidnapping, the sexual assault. Then they sober up and panic. And usually they will kill their victims and then not put much thought on where they're dumping them, because they're not serial killers. They're not killers. They're opportunistic sexual predators who only kill to hide their crime, right? They might have personality disorders like psychopathy and things like that, but which, yeah, they most likely do, but they're not there to kill. You know, they're driving by, they see it's late at night, young children. They think in their mind quickly, you know, I can commit this crime and I'll never get caught. But typically they're under the influence of alcohol or something. Nobody makes me bleed my own blood, mistress. Nobody. Hopefully, Boston, hopefully. Usually if there's going to be some kind of protection like that, it will be for the children. The rest of us, we got to fend for ourselves until judgment. I'm not sure. Pure speculation. Her side is blaming Daniel on some accusations of DV. Let's see. The family account. According to their mother, Malaya Brooks Murray, she woke on May 2nd to the sound of Lily and Jack playing in the next room. She fell back asleep briefly, and upon waking again, found the children missing. I wonder if there was alcohol involved at all, or if she took her medication or something. There always seems to be that element, right? If you go look at the baby Lisa case, what happened? There was alcohol involved. Madeline McCann. alcohol involved, right? Across the way, getting all fucked up with their friends. So then that makes people withhold information for the mere self-preservation involved. She fell back asleep briefly and upon waking again found the children missing. Their boots were gone and the back sliding door was closed but nearly silent when opened, suggesting they may have slipped out. Their stepfather, okay, so it looks like he might have had opportunity. Daniel Martell said Lily had been in and out of their bedroom that morning while he and Brooks Murray were with their 1-year-old daughter, Meadow. Martell noted Jack was heard in the kitchen shortly before their absence was noticed. I think the first question I would have for Daniel is, were the kids allowed to just kind of go outside and play by themselves? Like, were they usually typically good about that? Were they known for kind of wandering off? Were they allowed to wander? And maybe they just bumped into somebody too far away from the house, some type of predator. But if it was a predator, typically, like I said, you would find like a backpack near a water source, or you would find clothing. You would just kind of find it about, because you wouldn't really be dealing with somebody who had thought out the crime. You know, we wouldn't be dealing with some meticulous person. It would be like a chance encounter and then a sloppy cover up. From what we've gathered from a statistical standpoint, kind of like the Carly Bruscia case. Remember, she was walking home from her friend's house. She was only 2 blocks away from her home. And so the asshole was leaving work. He was still in his work uniform. And nobody was around. Here's this young girl trying to cut through the back of a business that he was familiar with. He parks, gets out of his car, gives her a ruse. I think he pulled out like a fake badge or something. But it's like he couldn't even control himself. He was still in his work uniform, was captured on camera, just like the bridge guy. I mean, it looks almost like the same crime. The way he walks up to them and everything. It's like, get down the hill. But in Carly's case, there was no hill. He raped her and then hastily tried to cover up what he had done and just dumped her behind a church. But he left like all these clues and she was found right away, because he's not some serial killer who's has some meticulous planning involved. He's driving home from work and he's probably drunk. He probably has an alcohol bottle in his vehicle that he fucking slammed or something. There seems to always be alcohol involved. Predators and alcohol don't mix. And what was Richard Allen doing that day? He was drinking. Mark is why she lawyered up and has no contact with Daniel, supposedly pure rumors. Yeah, I mean, he has opportunity, but I mean, if he's taking care of these other kids, and like I said, there could be more to it, some nuance. Were the kids known for wandering off? Were they allowed to wander? I would also need to kind of see the landscape of the area. I think that would tell us a lot about potential suspects or directions to look. Is quite a statement. Found the children missing. Upon waking again, found the children missing. She woke on May 2nd to the sound of Lily and Jack playing in the next room. She fell back asleep briefly, and upon waking again, found the children missing. Why would she even think that they were missing? You know, wouldn't she get up and go talk to Daniel? Like, where are they? And then Daniel would say, oh, I don't know. I think they're playing outside. Then you go outside and you yell for the girls and they don't answer. You go look a little bit further, start calling friends, neighbors. You know, you don't just go, oh shit, they're gone. it kind of is like an evolving situation, kind of like with Delphi. Remember, they called the girls, started getting late, and I made that comment. Now we're really getting scared, you know? It's getting late now. Like, it's escalating. Mark says, Sleuth, no one knows what happened. Kind of like Summer Wells. That's what it reminds me of, is why I wanted to ask you for your opinion, because you go deeper than the average YouTuber. I mean, the first thing that popped in my mind was Summer Wells, and I'm really not sure what happened to Summer, because things that are released to the public, law enforcement, they don't really communicate very well with the public, and sometimes they do that for strategic reasons. But my understanding was the dogs tracked Summer all the way down to the road. So I mean, anything could have happened down there. If you're drunk and you hit a small child, you know, you turn into a Karen Reed type, trying to cover up a vehicular manslaughter charge. You know, like, hey, I didn't mean to hit this child. I'm not a bad person, but I have been drinking and I can't bring them back to life. And maybe you might be a little psychotic. So you're like, hey, well, maybe I'll just cover it up. I can't bring this person back. No reason for you to go to prison. When in all actuality, yes, you do need to go to prison. You made the decision to get in that vehicle and drive drunk and you killed a person. They were last seen on camera the day before, so alive and not missing, at least up until then. Yeah. And people, statistically, if you're going to try to blame the family, it would be, if you want to profile them, typically this is how it would happen, like within their own home, right? These types of crimes where the parents or family or neighbors are involved is when it happens in the home, not outside of the home. All right, let's see here. The RCMP initially believed the children wandered into the dense. Okay, here now we're getting into it. Wandered into the dense wooded terrain surrounding their home. See, just like Summer Wells. It's like I didn't even need to know. It's like I already knew. As they were not known to typically go outside alone. Martell mentioned the children disliked being wet or cold, which made wandering far seem unlikely. No, it doesn't make wandering unlikely. It just means that maybe somebody was able to take advantage of that. So if it was raining or if it was wet and cold, all of a sudden, you know, maybe somebody offered them shelter. If you're a predator and you see these two young kids are hiding under, let's say, your canopy, or something like that, and you're like, hey, come over here, you know, I'll give you shelter. But really, it's like the big bad wolf, you know, dressed up like grandma. You guys want some hot cocoa? You know, like the Wicked Witch in the Sleeping Beauty movie with the apple. The children hadn't attended Salt Springs Elementary since April 29th due to Lily having a cough. April 30th was a professional development day with no school, and they were kept home on the 1st and 2nd. Hmm. Wonder if you could be possibly dealing with some kind of neglect, right? Same motivation as a vehicular manslaughter. Maybe some kind of abuse that went too far. But why would both of the children be missing? The fact that both of them are missing seems like they might have gone with each other somewhere. Mark says, same with this case. Kid sent ended at the end of the driveway. Yeah, it was weird. The moment you mentioned a few of the details, the first thing that popped in my mind was Summer Wells walking through the woods down, to that street, to a highway is what it was. And the dog's tracking her scent right there. Isn't that weird how that works? That's that intuition. It's like your subconscious putting together patterns and you just let it do its thing. You just mashed up like 4 different fairy tales. It's a mashup. It's a fairy tale mashup. You heard of the Monster Mash? Not to be confused. Hot Cocoa, Sleeping Beauty. You're looking out your window and you're the sicko, right? And there's these 2 kids under like maybe a ledge, barely being able to escape from the rain. So you, the big bad wolf, you're going to seize that opportunity, right? You look around, there's nobody around. You're that opportunistic killer. You've somehow convinced yourself that everything that you've gathered so far, because of your greed and your need to act on your impulses, your total confirmation bias takes over. You convince yourself that you could get away with it because you want it so bad. And really, truthfully, you don't care. You don't have much of a life anyway, in most cases. Cindy, yeah, that's true. Kind of like Chadwell, Brian Chadwell. You remember him? What's up, Ruckus? So Brian Chadwell, he was just living his everyday life. He's just at home. And here comes this 9-year-old girl lost, kind of wandering away from a party. And I think he was sitting on his porch or something with the dog, and he lured her in. Right? Here's that opportunistic killer looking through the blinds. Here comes this lone little kid, and Chadwell can't resist. He's probably drunk as a skunk. Hey, you want to come pet my dog? She comes over and he just snatches her right up. When cops finally found her, she was chained up in his basement, and he had been torturing her with that same dog, a 9-year-old girl. So hopefully that's not what happened here. But usually these types of crimes aren't really planned out. The predator convinces themselves to act on the impulse. They do the act or the deed. The sexual assault is done, and then they become ashamed and paranoid. And because of the fact that they don't really have any emotions to begin with, they just kill their victim, right? It's just easier to kill them. I'm not going to prison. But now you have a dead person here and you don't know what to do with it because you're not some serial killer. But here you are, the man who couldn't control, man or women, because this applies to women too. The person who couldn't control their impulses committed this horrible act, killed this person. Now what do you do? Well, from there, it's just a mess, right? You dump your victim somewhere random that you think is random, right? But your psychology is telling law enforcement everything they need to know. The place where you selected is telling them about you, the type of wounds that are on, the victimology, the criminology, the typology, all of that. It all tells them everything that you are not very sophisticated, uh, was sexually driven crime based on the wounds of the victim, and the fact that it was just kind of messy. That's just like Chadwell. He wasn't planning on chaining up a young girl and torturing her, but there he is looking out his blinds. Nobody's around, and here's this little girl. It's like one of his fantasies. Brian Chadwell. James, I think. James Brian Chadwell. I might be wrong on that. But yeah, James Brian Chadwell. I think it's Brian with a Y like Koberger. What's going on with you, Ruckus? How the hell are you? All right, guys, this is going to be our 5-minute warning. Thanks for hanging out with me. Good job on those riddles, Jari. You pretty much killed it. A canine accomplice, accessory after the fact, co-defendant, co-dog-fendant. Ha! Co-dog-fendant. Oh, I'm still in that one. That was clever. All right. Speak now or forever hold your peace. Cindy, I like the riddles in the show. My brain obviously needs a workout. Yeah, you got to stay sharp. Kind of helps you to dig deeper. The answers are not always on the surface. You got to dig a little bit. Going down the rabbit hole. Yeah, we didn't have any trolls today, so I didn't have to unleash the beast.
End this quickly. Just reluctant to come out of her corner. Ada, let the war.
You know what I mean?
Leave me alone! Here we go. You're kidding me!
No shenanigans. Thank you, Jari. Now remember, guys, if you can't hit the Cash App, hit the like button. It's right there. Just click that thing. And if you're part of that replay crew, you know exactly what to do. Leave a comment, and we'll get back to you. And J-Ray, not Jari. J-Ray might correct your spelling. But don't get mad at her, though. Okay? Don't get mad, though. You got it. Just don't slush it around. You got to flex it like a muscle. Thanks, Cindy. I appreciate that. Thank you guys for supporting my channel. We definitely need it right now, guys. We need it more than you think. And remember, we're not going to pander. We're not going to kowtow. We're not going to grift, and we're not going to eBay. If you want to support this channel, just want you to know we need it. Or it's back to the coal mine, which is fine. Spelling Bee champion of 03. No wonder. That explains everything. Yep. If you guys want to get a hold of me for whatever reason, sleuthintuition@gmail.com. Or if you go to sleuthintuition.com, that has all my contact information. There's even a business phone there that you can call and leave a message. Sometimes I have it open, so you might even get a hold of me if you're lucky. Thank you, Cindy. And if you could, leave a comment. Go share this on your X feed or on YouTube, Facebook, whatever. No, you're not, Jerry. No, you're not. Somebody's trash is always another's treasure. Much love, Mark. Thank you for all your support. I appreciate that. I really do. Well, you can find therapy in anything, J Ray. You got music P, but the truth is, go out into the wild, go into the wilderness, far away from the city as you can, and take off your shoes. Take off your shoes and put your bare feet into the sand. And just wiggle your toes around. And then you could thank me later. Thank you, Cindy. I'll let you guys know how it was. Yeah, you better spell that right, Jari. J Ray will get you. She'll be in your DMs. I live in the wilderness. Oh yeah, you're a feral cat. Well, go out front of your house and stick your feet in the dirt. That makes it easier. Big shout out to Cindy Lean for the super chat. I really appreciate it. You guys enjoy the rest of your night. Please have a safe weekend. I don't want any bad news. And remember, don't do anything I wouldn't do. Peace.